Donovan Mitchell, one of the most slept-on players coming out of this year's NBA draft. He has been a huge part in the replacement of Gordon Hayward, who they lost this offseason. He and Rudy Gobert make a dangerous duo, and if Donovan can continue to grow as a player, this could be one of the most dangerous 1-2 punches in NBA history. Donovan Mitchell was drafted 13th overall in the 2017 NBA draft. He was drafted by the Denver Nuggets, but was traded to the Jazz that same day. At age 21, he is averaging 18, 3, and 3, which is decent. A point guard who needs the ball in his hands to be effective is good pairing with Rudy Gobert, because Rudy is effective on defense and does not need the ball to be good with the type of screens he sets. But in the last 10 games of which I'm recording this, he is averaging around 23 points per game. That is very good for being traded on draft day to somebody else. But onto his story. When he was a sophomore in high school, he wasn't on anybody's recruiting service, and when he was a freshman in college, he was not on anybody's draft board. And even after being traded, he was out to prove everyone who doubted him wrong. As he was growing up, he never thought he'd play in the NBA. What he really wanted to do was playing in the MLB as a professional baseball player, like his father, but his father was a minor league player. But he decided to choose basketball as what he wanted to pursue, with the help of his family. But after he decided to go with basketball, the school's baseball coach begged him to still play, and he gave in. But oddly enough, this decision might have helped him make it to the NBA. After a pop fly, he and his catcher had a miscommunication, and they ran into each other, and he broke his wrist, which meant his baseball season was over. But worse, he could not play in AAU basketball in the summer, which was terrible because he was almost unknown at this time. And doing this over the summer could have made him more relevant. If he had to sum it up, he said he was very sad, and it changed the way he thought of life, and he was building the hunger to improve on his skills. So with this, he decided to transfer to Brewster Academy, and his coach, Jason Smith, said he was not ranked, and he did not even have a number next to his name, but he was hungry to get better, and almost immediately, he was given the chance to play in a scrimmage against Chris Maloka, and Donovan beat Chris multiple times and led his team to the win. Jason said he remembered this game and shared it to the scouts whenever he got the chance to. And with him knowing this, he knew Donovan could be a very special player, and Donovan became a defensive monster. He had also risen from unranked to the 43rd player, but it was still the only 43rd player, so he joined Louisville to get the recognition he deserved. After watching a early season practice, he was performing phenomenally. Rick Pitino said, "This kid is special." They all knew he could become elite if he put work into the gym, so with this, the gym became a second home to him after all of that. But he was still not considered a top prospect. He was playing behind older guards in Louisville, which meant he was not on the court as much, but he was still averaging around 8 points per game. But with his work ethic, that was not good enough for him or his coaches. So that summer, the coach said, "You are a freak athlete, but you have to develop a jumper with a arc." And by the time he began to practice the next season, Pitino, I can't pronounce his name, was stunned. He said he had never seen somebody improve their jump shot more than him in as little time as that, in 40 years of coaching. And because of that, he was the main guy in Louisville and was averaging around 15, 5, and 2. But the better thing is he fixed his broken jumper and would make around 2 threes a game in his sophomore season, while leading the Cardinals to the number 2 seed, but they lost in the second round. And after that, he declared for the NBA draft. And after he went to California and he met Chris Paul and Magic Johnson, and he was doing good, and Paul George and Chris Paul told him that it was time to go pro in the workouts. He was seen as a mid to late round pick. Many thought he would be a lottery pick. Even the Nuggets, the team who drafted him, did not have faith in him and was traded to the Jazz. In the summer league, the Jazz knew they found a star, and he only played 2 games, and he was averaging 28, 3, and 6, and with 6 steals per game. But mind you, it was only 2 games. But that's still a lot of steals a game. In his first NBA game, he wore the number 45 to honor Michael Jordan as a baseball player. In his first 10 games, he was averaging around 13 points per game, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, which was solid, but due to injuries on the roster, Donovan is a full-time starter, and in the next 20 games, he put up 20 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game, and 2 steals per game. But then Coach Quinn Snyder told the media that he liked the most about him was his work ethic. And Kevin Garnett was asked if he thought Donovan Mitchell was one of the most underrated rookies, and he said yes. I don't have the clip for that, but he said yes. And he said he had that alpha mentality, and he scored a career-high 41 points against the Pelicans to clutch the game out. And after this performance, DeMarcus Cousins said Utah has a star. And LeBron James said the same thing too. Because in the next game against not in the next game, in one of the other games against the Cavs, which, if you didn't know, are my favorite team. Late in the game, they gave the ball to Mitchell, and of course he scored, and they won the game off of that. He put up 29 points, 6 assists, and even Russell Westbrook gave him some pointers. And we know Russell Westbrook's not very easy on rookies, but from what we've seen so far, all we can say that Donovan Mitchell in Utah is dangerous. Watch out for Utah. See you guys later. Like, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.